All right. Next we have Allison. Hey there.
Hey, how are you all? Nice to see you.
Good to
Good.
see you.
Good. Can you all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell us who you are, where you're from, and a qualifier.
Okay, so my name's Allison Duvall. I live in Lexington, Kentucky, and I work for Episcopal Migration Ministries on the presiding bishop staff, but I have to always think about like, how am I presenting myself? And today I'd rather talk about who I am as a person. And in my side gig for decades has been I'm an Irish dance teacher. So I loved hearing from Paul that his kids are dancers. So I was like, oh, I'm going to talk about dance too.
Oh, that's great.
All right. We'd love to hear your story.
Okay, so I've got a timer as well. And I honestly got nervous listening to all these other wonderful folks sharing about their lives in COVID because I didn't prepare like a narrative arc. But I thought I'd talk about a few things. One was that in reference to what someone was saying about like this need to feel productive and busy, it's been really a blessing to have folks on my Facebook feed who have kind of balked at the notion that we always have to be on Zoom and we always have to be doing something and we always have to be creating content or presenting or what have you. And that's been a blessing. That's just allowed me, like, I guess part of the thing I've seen as holy is it reminded me of the ways that people deal with trauma and difficult things in different ways. I think I'm definitely the kind of person who deals with difficult things by busying myself because I don't want to deal with what's hard. So it just gave me a moment to pause and reflect and say, oh, like it's okay for me to like be still for a moment and deal with stuff that now I have time, to deal with and to work on. So that's been a holy thing of people being cranky about over productivity and over Zooming and me going, oh yeah, I don't always have to be, cranking out content. And then the other beautiful kind of holy moments have been that I'm an Irish dance teacher. I run an Irish dance school with some friends here in Kentucky, and I teach the littlest beginner children. I teach our most advanced adults. So I kind of span the gamut. And it is just such a beautiful thing to have a class of 3, 4, and 5-year-old beginners, like all come to class and like want to show me their stuffed animal. Or they all come to class and they want to be wearing their tutus, which we don't wear in Irish dancing, but they're going to wear them anyway. And I also love, like, it gives me such delight to have these like children who are like, they're trying to be so focused because they know how Miss Allison runs class and they like are very focused. But then there will be a toddler just in a diaper like, run across the screen with a parent madly chasing after the toddler while the little 5-year-old is still very focused. So it's just those moments when I would never have the privilege to be invited into someone's home and lives, my dance students' lives in the way that I have been, were it not for this strange new normal that we're living in. The other thing, I'm looking at my timer, I'm only going to go 30 more seconds, but the other thing that I realized for children is kind of our MO as teachers for our dance students has been to stay very positive and hopeful and like forward future oriented thinking. But I had a parent tell me this past Sunday after dance class that it was so meaningful for her daughter to hear me acknowledge that this is not always fun and it's not easy. And I'm sad sometimes and I miss the kids. I miss being with them in the studio. I miss giving them hugs. Like me just acknowledging for the children that I'm not always as positive as I seem to be and that this is hard for me as a grown-up. The mother just said, like, you have no idea the change that I saw in my child when you acknowledge this is hard. So that's a holy thing too, that when we can be honest with our kids or with our students, that this is hard for us too, I think it allows them to feel the feelings that they have. That's all.
I love that. As the mother of a daughter who we've had to pull out of dance and missing our dance teacher, I love hearing that story and acknowledging for our kids too what this is really like.
It's hard. Yeah.
And I love, Allison, how your story highlighted for me. I mean, it was there in some of the other stories too, but your story really highlighted for me the role of kids almost as barometers. And I don't know if it's because we're around them more, because we're sharing space. I mean, the working world is really good at like hiding kids from our lives so that people can be more productive or whatever. And that's something that my wife and I have struggled about in conversations about the rightness of that. But they serve, right, like right now is the windows into joy, but also the ways we can unlock for them, like permission to be feeling what they're feeling, and not misread cues from us to hide those things and stuff like that. I think is a really great reminder.
Yeah. Well, thank you both for your podcast and for this. I'm glad to be with you.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks for being with us.
Bye.